Welcome back. Just before the break, we were talking to Musleh Ahmed, who is chairman of Dhaka Regency Hotel and Resort, about the problems. And now I have a question. What are the challenges? What does he face in day-to-day business of hospitality industry in Dhaka, which is a very big market, growing all the time? But what are the challenges, sir?
There are challenges, like everywhere else, well, as I've said. We have in my opinion, one of the key challenges is to find the food products that you need to cater for the industry. We are
the raw products that we make.
Totally dependent on foreign imports from abroad. That's a very difficult thing because the supply chain is not smooth as it should be. So it's very difficult because you're totally dependent on importing. Therefore, the food cost is very high. The beverage costs are very high. And the other challenge that I would say is finding the right workforce. We have created many hotels over the last few years at a very high standard, but at the same time, do we have enough qualified or trained people to serve that industry? I always found that as a challenge. What we're currently surviving on is the experienced people returning from the Middle East, working in many branded hotels, and then, so they decide to come back home and work in Bangladesh, so we're okay. We're surviving on that. However, we've identified that as a challenge a good few years ago, and we have established a training institute.
Of your own?
Yes, RHTI.
So this is an in-house institute?
Yeah, it's Regency Hospitality Training Institute. Over the last 4 years, we've trained many people.
Basically your own staff or people from outside?
No, from outside. So we have a separate building near the hotel where we have the training center fully running. We have trained over 300-400 people by now, and we actually, on-the-job training takes place within the hotel. So we're the only training institute that actually owns a hotel as well. So it makes it very easy for us to give them on-the-job training at the same time what's on the book. And many of those people are, trained and they go abroad to work because we are accredited by many renowned accreditation bodies such as the City and Guilds, AHLI American one, and then you get Hospitality Institute. So these are recognized qualifications that we actually offer to those people. They not only, once they qualify, they have the options of going abroad, and at the same time it's helping our domestic industry. So these people are working not only in Regency, but many hotels across the country and restaurants. So this is a great thing that we're doing.
But this problem is not exclusive to Bangladesh. They have the same problems in India and Pakistan and Nepal. And
obviously India has a very mature industry, large market. They've been there for a very long time. But for us, we're quite new. But however, I think to find trained staff is not difficult as it was 3-4 years ago. Our training institute, there are many other training institutes that are working, but we're one of the most prominent one that we're doing it very successfully. And that's something that to address those challenges. As I've said, the supply chain is very difficult. The tax system is very difficult in Bangladesh generally, not only for our industry, but many other industries. Like you pay the VAT here, you buy something, when you're paying the VAT yourself, you get it returned. In Bangladesh, it's a one-way thing. There are so many issues. But that's the local challenge. These are the stuff that we adapted ourselves to cope with.
But you have accountants to look after that.
Absolutely.
That's why they get paid. I was going to ask you about this recipe for success in hospitality. A lot of senior managers, they say that you have to be a people's man, you have to be a social person, and even a doorman can become the general manager and the chairman. All these things are very good, you see. But what does it take? I know it's like a customer-oriented business, you see.
Look.
And the customer is always like a child.
Absolutely.
He demands something and then give him and he wants more.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
Well, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman. I know how to set something up. To run this, you need the right driver.
Right.
So we had the qualified people to run it. Our company is headed by someone in Mr. Shahid Hamid. He's a very senior in the industry. He's very qualified. He was deputy GM in Shunarga time, so very experienced. He's the Pata Bangladesh chapter president. He's qualified from the Cornell. He's very, very good. So he leads the team, and not only him, but the entire team has to be good.
He's a Bangladeshi.
All of them are Bangladeshi, and many of them actually worked abroad,
Well, it's good to
just
know.
like him, and they come back to serve in Bangladesh. So you can have the best product in the country, but if you don't have the best team,
Right.
I can proudly say Regency has the best team. We're very proud. So the product, the people has to be right. So unless you have both together, that's a perfect combination. You cannot provide the luxury or the service you want to provide to people that come and stay with you. So this is the biggest focus that you should have, and that's what we focus on.
What is this star system? 5-star and 6-star and 7-star?
It's the
Where does this stop?
Yes, very recently we're hearing 7 stars, but generally 5-star is something that in Bangladesh, again, it's the standard of the hotel. You have all these facilities. Each of them will come for 1 star, like swimming pool, the gym, the hotel, to restaurants, how many restaurants and so on. But in Bangladesh, in generally, they used to, when we had our license 10 years ago, they used to focus on how many rooms you have. You got to have 200 plus rooms to call it a 5-star hotel. So we're a 225 room hotel, and that's what made us a 5-star. And then later, in order to, in order to compete in the market, you have to have your standard. So in Bangladesh, as I've said, before we started, there was only Shunarga, that time Sheraton, now is
Westin, Radisson.
No, Radisson started just before us, and then after that you had Westin came through, Le Méridien came through. So we were the first privately owned 5-star hotel.
Now Sheraton has gone back to become became Sonali, and then
no, they became Intercontinental recently,
right.
which is going back to the original brand.
The original, yes, you see.
Yeah.
So are they all 5-star, or
Yeah.
I thought that this Sheraton was not 5-star.
It is certainly now.
It is certainly now.
Intercontinental, they renovated.
Who decides that you deserve a 5-star rather than 4?
There's a licensing body
Is the international body?
In Bangladesh, every country have their own control from the tourism board and the ministry. So they give that license for that.
So can that be? Is that
can that be taken away?
Is that genuine?
Yeah, it's obviously. Otherwise, everybody would have called themselves 5-star hotels.
Is there something like 2-star, 3-star, 4-star?
Yes, we have. We have many middle 3-star hotels and many guest houses in Bangladesh. In over the last 2 years, we had many fold number of rooms came available in the market. So the market is much more competitive than before. Yeah.
Well, what is the rate of room occupancy? I'm not talking about the money. I mean,
for Regency.
Yeah, for Regency. Yes.
Regency, 70 to 80% occupancy we do it. Alhamdulillah, that's happened fine, good.
And is that the same with other hotels?
Other hotels, yeah, generally. There are demand for hotel rooms in Dhaka, and so far it's not oversupply yet.
You said the percentage of foreigners visiting Bangladesh is very low, particularly the tourist ones, yes. But is there some way that we can encourage people within the country to But then perhaps they will not like to stay.
I think as I've said, domestic tourism is quite big in Bangladesh because it consists, the total market share is 97% of the total industry.
But would they stay in five-star hotels?
Some people do. Some people do. But what I want to focus on is that the NRB market can be a huge potential. People like myself and yourself. What we do, we go to Bangladesh to see our families, but we don't really go and see the attractions around the country. If you have time, I can tell you last 2 years ago, there's 7 of us, friends from childhood. We went to see Bangladesh. They said to me, Musleh, you now, lived in Bangladesh, you know Bangladesh, will take us around. What we did...
From London?
From London. So we went to, start off with, we stayed in Dhaka Regency, then we went to Cox's Bazar, we stayed there one night, then we went to St. Martin's, so we saw Cox's Bazar, St. Martin's, then we went to Bandarban, we stayed there as well, and then we went to Bagarhat and Khulna, and then Sundarban, and then we came back to Dhaka, we went to Sylhet, we went to Tangwar Howard, unbelievable beauty. And that experience, we were there for about 11 days, unbelievable experience. We've never seen Bangladesh like that before, and this is something that other people should try. And I think what I suggest is that because there is no package facilities at the moment, so people really don't know where to go if they want to do that. So Dhaka Regency, in partnership with some tour operators, we're trying to bring out a package where at least we can initially promote these to the NRB communities. So for example, when we take our families back to Bangladesh, we can include 3-4 days of trip in various attractions in Bangladesh. That will make it much more interesting. Our kids will feel much more attached to the country because they find it all boring. All they do is going around to friends' houses and the food and the hug and the salams. And that's what is very boring for them. So if you can add some adventure to your trips in the summer.
Yeah, the first few days it's okay, food and meeting people and all that and going to Shanarga and all. But then again, I don't want to see Shanarga, I want to see people and the country.
Yes, so there are places in Bangladesh, if you go, you'll certainly enjoy it, and there are good hotels. All those key attractions nowadays to make your stay very comfortable. We loved it, and I suggest people should think like that. We are bringing out some packages from Regency in partnership with some travel agents and tour operators in Bangladesh, and we'll soon be offering those, yes.
This is one way of attracting foreign tourists to Bangladesh, you see. How many five-star hotels do we have in Bangladesh and other places? I mean, like Dhaka and Chittagong and all that.
At the moment in Dhaka, you got 6.
1.5 million.
Yeah, you got 6 in Dhaka at the moment. In Cox's Bazar, in Chittagong, you have the Radisson as well. So one in one in Chittagong, and Cox's Bazar, you have quite a few. In Inani, you had a beautiful hotel they opened up as well, Tulip. That's a good one. So yeah, there are a lot of nice products coming up.
Is it true that the prices of rooms are too high in Bangladesh?
Compared to other countries, some people do say that. However, it is now competitive, and if you know how to get your discounts right, it's not going to be too bad.
We're not offering to our viewers.
No, what we're doing for the NRB communities from Regency, because we realize we need to now re-engage with our community. I was too busy in Bangladesh trying to establish the project, lived there for 7 years, so I lost that connection. So recently you may have realized that we are signing up MOUs with many prominent organizations in our community. We've recently signed up with the Bangladeshi Caterers Association and the British Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce. We are now in the process of signing up MOUs with many other prominent organizations through which their members will be able to get access to many privileges and discounts in Regency and the service that we can provide, even the protocol service and the meet and greet service at the airport in Dhaka and so on. So we try to link up with our community again and offering them, because it's an NRB hotel.
That's a very nice idea, because whenever I reach Dhaka, or I will come out of the airport, it's a total mess. The person who has come to see you can't bring his car.
I know.
He's parked it somewhere else, and he's trying to look out for you. You're trying to look out for him. He's trying your mobile, and it's the moment you arrive there.
Our meet and greet team can help you next time. We have a 24 hours lounge, and we have a 24-hour team at the Dhaka airport to help you with any of those meet and greet services.
Okay, sir, it's time to take a break, and then when we come back, we will go again to Regency and other 5-star hotels.
Thank you.
Thank you. Time to take a break. Don't go away. We'll be back after this short break. Thank you.